Hello friends, welcome back to the program. Today we are going to work on Jakt, and I'd like to make some improvements to functions because in the last video I was making a PNG decoder and I called out to zlib, which is of course a C library with an API that I just declare extern functions for, and there's really no way to know that it's safe to call these functions. I'm passing them just a raw pointer to a struct that I'm managing, yet Jakt doesn't really tell us that there's something sketchy about what we're doing. And really what I want to happen here is that these functions should be unsafe functions. And then I should be forced to call them in an unsafe execution context. So really it should look more like this. But right now, today, there's no way to declare unsafe functions because we don't have such a concept in the language. But it's one that I think we should add. So that's what I'm going to do today. And there are probably a bunch of other places. Yeah, like here. Oops. This one should be unsafe. And then I guess you can't do that. So we'll just do this for now. I think we don't support unsafe as an expression, so you can't do this currently. Something like that, right? I don't think we can do that right now. It would be a sweet thing to support, but we don't really allow that. Anyway, let me actually leave some bogus ones here that are not safe, and then we'll see that it actually complains once we get to that point where we can actually test it. So the first thing that we want to do is just parse when we are parsing a function. Then we want to check if it has an unsafe keyword. So let's see, that would be here in parse namespace. So parse namespace is kind of like the not the outermost parsing scope, because that's the namespace scope, but the one right within that. So when we're parsing a namespace, we're looking for stuff like functions or structs, enums, traits, and so on. So here we have function, and we probably have namespace. Interesting. And then extern function as well. So extern function is parsed separately from just function. It's kind of curious. So I'm thinking maybe we will just do exactly that and parse unsafe here. And we'll do kind of what this thing does. If current is function, then, not function, sorry, fna, advance the index, and otherwise we should complain about something. We should say error, expected fna after unsafe. Current span. Okay. And then otherwise we can do this, but with the important difference that we will say is unsafe is true. Right. And parse function is going to need to take that as a parameter here. Okay, so parse function immediately creates a parsed function object, so we can just pass that in there. And then parsed function will then know if it is unsafe. I guess we can start by modeling just unsafe functions in the Jakt language itself, not necessarily extern functions. So let's see. Let's make a quick test for it. So something like unsafe fna hello. I don't know. I am unsafe. Okay. And then we should be able to call this not like this, but it should be fine like this, right? So let's see if we can, well, first off, let's see if we can make it complain about this. So parsed function. Let's see where these are instantiated. So here's one where we're getting is unsafe. Is that the only one? It might be. That's good. Okay, so who's calling this? A bunch of places. Sure. So is unsafe. Not unsafe in that case. Okay. What is this parse method? Let's see. Are there a lot of parse methods? A handful. Well, we should probably allow unsafe methods as well. So let's add a parameter here. And then we'll just forward that to parse function. Okay. Is unsafe. We'll say fix me. Allow unsafe method. Parse unsafe methods, right? Yeah, we'll say that. Parsed method. Okay, let's break this up into multiple lines because it's getting pretty wide here. Okay. Is unsafe. False. Cool. It's kind of nice how you can just break these into multiple lines like this, and then you don't even need a comma. I was a bit weirded out by that at first, but over time it really grew on me. The like the lack of commas and semicolons in Jakt is really it took me a while to get used to, but now that I'm used to it, it's really annoying to have to put commas and semicolons everywhere in other languages. All right. We are on track. Okay, so parse function. Who else was calling this? Here. False. Fix me. Parse. Extern unsafe functions. All right. And this. What is this even? Parse trait. Parse unsafe trait methods. We should probably allow that as well. Wait, why is that not allowed? Parse function. Oh, maybe we have another. Do we have a defaulted thing before that? Is unsafe comes after is destructor. Oh, allow missing body. Oh, shoot. There we go. All right. Oh. Trying to sneeze, but not happening. All right. Let's see. Let's see if this would build. At least build far enough that we have the information in the parsed function object, and then we have to transfer that from the parsed function to the type checked function object in the type checker, but that should be fairly straightforward. So wherever we are creating a checked function, which occurs in 7 places apparently, Then we have to just, well, first off, let's go ahead and add a thing for it. So public is unsafe ebool. All right. And then everybody has to actually, wait, did I break something in this file? Copy. Oh, interesting. It's like a copy helper. So it needs to handle that field. Sure. What else we got? Substitute type vars and type helper. Again, just copying information over. Sure. Is unsafe. All right. I think we're good. Back to the type checker. Okay, so here we are type checking an enum. And do we have a parsed function in this context called func for some reason? So we'll just transfer the information over. Is unsafe is func.isUnsafe. Cool. And oh my goodness, we have so many errors, but they'll probably melt off once we fix things up. All right, let's see. So this is adding a constructor. Constructors, I think, constructors don't need to be unsafe. That's not something that I want to figure out right now, if it even makes sense to allow unsafe constructors. So ignoring that for now. What is this? Enum variant constructor. Again, don't want to think about that. Unsafe is false for now. I think there's no way to express them to the parser, so it should be okay. It's just something that we might want to do in the future. Wait, now I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. Oh, enum constructor. Sorry, okay. Enum constructor. Another checked function here. This is, again, enum constructor. So we again say false. Cool. Okay, now we're type checking a function. So at this point we have a parsed function. So we're going to copy over parsed function is unsafe. Good. Type check type name. This is for a closure, I think. And for closures, let's again not allow unsafe closures at this point in time. Maybe that's something that you would want to have. I don't know. Unsafe closure, does that make sense? Seems like a weird thing. I don't know if there's a use case for that. Let's not think about it too much right now. Let's just make progress on this. So basically we just disabled, we don't allow these things to be unsafe. Which should be fine, because you can't convince the parser that they are. We only accept the unsafe keyword in the namespace context right before fn. So should be okay. Okay, so far we are compiling, but we're not doing anything with the information. We just have a bool on the checked function. So we need to actually, we need to check whenever you're calling the function, we need to check that the function you're calling, unsafe. Oh shoot, let me actually install expected fn after unsafe. Okay, I didn't do that right. What did I? After unsafe. If current is, oh, I need to, of course, I need to advance. Okay. You have to advance after looking at the thing. Oh, interesting. Maybe I should be more, no, I only accept fn in this context, nothing else. Should I skip over this token if I'm not accepting it? I think... I don't know that I need to, because it will loop around and figure out what to do, I think. Okay, so now we tolerate this. Unsafe fn hello. What are you missing? Incomplete function definition. Okay. So index plus plus. And then we make the function. Let's see. So if it's fn, oh, then we're not advancing the index. So is this what we should be doing then? Okay. It's like I'm a little bit confused about how this code is structured. All right. Is destructor? I wonder what that would look like, an unsafe destructor. So it's only safe to destroy the object if you're in an unsafe context. That doesn't seem like something, a state combination that we need. All right. Okay, now it accepts this program. Cool. But we need to enforce that you are in an unsafe block when you call it. So I'm thinking, by the way, yeah, somebody asked me, somebody commented on the last video, I think, why don't I use Control T to jump to functions? It's just because it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. It only finds C++ stuff. Maybe it was on the live stream. Somebody asked about it. So there's some bug in our IDE support, which I haven't looked into yet. Although this thing here works. So it is possible to find type check call, maybe. Wait, can I type into that thing? Type check? Okay, that's where I want to go. Type check call. It's not alphabetical, so it's a bit hard to use it as a substitute. Okay, type check call. We have a parsed call. So by the end of a type check call, I would assume that we figured out who we're calling. If we figure out who we're calling. And here's the special case for like our format string stuff. Let's ignore those. And then we try to look through the namespaces and everything to figure out who we're calling. And callee. What is this? If we didn't resolve a function, okay. But we have found a function. Then, wait, where do we see the callee? Here, callee, get function. Okay, so once we have the callee, at this point I feel comfortable asking the callee, is unsafe. If it's unsafe, and do we know our safety mode? Is if we are in safe mode, then, well, that's an error. Cannot call unsafe function in safe context. And, oh, do we have a span here? Let's see. See what the span variable contains. But yeah, this is going to be nice. So just an ability to tell the compiler which things are actually safe to call. And then maybe the default behavior should actually be like whenever you're importing extern C functions, they should maybe always be unsafe by default, and you could like selectively make them safe. You know, because there are, of course, extern C functions that are safe to call. But by default, maybe they should be unsafe. I don't know about that. Otherwise, you have to say unsafe. Let's not worry too much about that right now. Hey, cannot call unsafe function in safe context. Yeah, so it understands that. And if I do this, hello, then it works. Hey, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that is fantastic as a first step. So let's, I guess let's turn this into a test. Output. I am unsafe. So this should just output that, right? And then unsafe function test type checker unsafe function call okay or good, let's call it. All right, and let's see that it actually passes. Cool. Now let's get an error and see how that goes. Okay, so now we get this error, so we can just copy that, change it to an error expectation. We can do that, I think. Okay, great. So we'll call that one unsafe function call bad. Cool. So yeah, we're just parsing unsafe before free functions and not allowing you to call those functions in a safe context. That seems very reasonable. Okay. So that will be our first commit. Let's see, parser plus type checker. Allow unsafe fn, or let's see, allow making functions unsafe. Marking. Unsafe functions cannot be called in a safe context. Yeah, that's the whole idea. So great. Then it still doesn't solve the thing I wanted here though, because we also need to support it on extern. So let's do that. On extern. So extern. I guess we can kind of do the same thing as we did. So unsafe if current is fna, then do all of these shenanigans. Yeah, this could probably be factored a little bit better, but right now I am not worrying about the factoring of this code too much. So let's see, extern unsafe functions, right. So that fix me actually goes away because this is kind of the safe branch. True. All right. So would that be enough, actually? That would be really smooth and easy if that's all it takes. Let's see. Should be able to test it right away in the PNG code. Come on now, just compile. The compile time interpreter thing is like almost a megabyte of generated C++. That's why it takes a while to compile that thing. All right, let's see here. So, do we have errors? Cannot call unsafe function in safe context. Look at these errors. These are exactly the errors that we want. So here we have a defer, which of course now has to do something like that. And, oh, actually, I guess you could technically drop the curlies and do something like defer unsafe. It's kind of weird though. I mean, what we had originally was defer. This makes me wonder if unsafe statements would be a thing. I don't know. I guess alternatively, you could do this, which feels strange. I don't really like the way this looks. Should this be allowed? Because like you're deferring something to later, but like it's not going to execute now, it's going to execute later. But I mean, it will be unsafe. It will be fine when it executes. It will be in an unsafe scope. Yeah, I don't like the way this looks, but I don't think it's necessarily an error. Anyways, defer unsafe. Yeah, defer unsafe. It is what it is. Okay. And then we also have this error here where we'll have to do something like that. Oh, I have to give it the right type. Okay. And let's see, LZ, PNG, and build PNG. And it works. Hey. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So now we are able to declare that these are unsafe, which means that if you want to call these APIs, you have to be a diligent boy and put them in an unsafe block. I think that's very nice. Not 100% sure about this particular invocation here. Like, is this better? This is probably a little bit better, to be honest. Or I don't know. Who cares? All right. Yeah. So then we have some other unsafe parts of this code, by the way. And I wonder if I still need those to be unsafe. I think I was adding support for getting the unsafe data from an array slice. So this didn't used to work because there was no unsafe data API on the slices, but now there is one. It just gives you a raw pointer, and then I just forgot to update the PNG decoder or the zlib decompressor. But it looks like we might be able to not use unsafe inline C++ for that. That's really cool. I think we had one more instance of unsafe. Yes, memcopy. Okay, so can we model memcopy? Let's see. So import extern C string.h for memcopy, I guess. Extern unsafe function memcopy, which has, I guess, destination. Oh, shoot. So, I mean, it's supposed to take like a raw void pointer, but I don't think we have a way to cast a raw byte pointer to a raw void pointer. Like the language, Jakt language doesn't really let us do that. So I'm gonna cheat here and take a raw u8 because that's what I have. Source raw u8 and size maybe, or a byte count. I can call these whatever I want. All right, mem copy. So can I just, wouldn't it be sweet if I could just mem copy out here? So destination, source, byte count, and yeah, it doesn't let me do it because it's an unsafe function. So we'll wrap it in unsafe. Ooh, look at that. Let's see. Will it work? It works. Hey, that's rad. Very nice. Okay, so that's really cool. So we were able to get rid of, actually we got rid of all the inline C++ in our program. So that's obviously the inline C++, like people ask me about it and it's a temporary thing. Like I don't want Jakt to have inline C++ forever. It's just a way to work around missing features in the language while we're developing the language. Eventually, you should never need to use inline C++. Eventually. Very cool. And yeah, so there's the issue of like the signature is not completely honest because really they should be raw void, and then you should do something like this, right? Like as raw void, but we can't actually, I'm pretty sure we can't cast like that because it's gonna think that what I want to do is like a dynamic cast. Because yeah, the compiler doesn't know how to do raw pointer casts, so it will try to do something stupid. Yeah, it tries to do a dynamic cast. Anyway, this is sweet. I guess we should, yeah, that's like a fix me for the compiler, that we should probably allow casting any raw pointer type to raw void, but let's not screw with that right now. We can just have the API be u8. All right. But we still have to make a test for this thing. So I guess we can do memcopy. Let's try to make a test that uses memcopy. See how that goes. Or do I still have that unsafe function thing? Okay. So let's declare an extern unsafe function memcopy and try to use it for something interesting. So destination raw u8. I mean, we just used it for and the other thing, so we know that it's going to work, but import extern c string.h. It's still good to have a thing. So how do we trigger an error the easiest way? I guess by just trying to call it. So we'll try to copy between these two things. Actually, I don't need to be in this hello function. That's I already forgot why that was there. So let's try to memcopy between these things. So memcopy destination raw x source raw y, and byte count is size of y, I guess. Oh, that's a raw i64. Oh, interesting. Right. So I guess I have to cheat here as well. It's a little bit awkward, but raw i64. Size of i64. Okay. Let me see that if this thing actually works. It's a little bit janky. X, Y. Okay, it succeeds in copying. Very cool. Okay. So let's make it unsafe, and then this should give us an error. Cannot call unsafe function in safe context. Great. Unsafe extern function call bad. .jakt. Cool, and then we put it into unsafe. Cool, and then it should have output. X 456, Y 456. New line. Good. Okay, let's see if all the type checker tests are passing. But I feel like they should. I don't know what this one is. That's a weird error that happens sometimes. I think we just getting like some syscall gets interrupted and then we don't restart it properly. But yeah, it looks like it's a full pass. So that is really good. So let's add these tests and say parser, allow unsafe extern functions. Cool. Very, very cool. Yes. So there's more to do here, obviously, like unsafe methods in particular, and maybe making everything that's extern C be unsafe by default, and then having some way to make them safe. Maybe with a safe keyword, or I don't know exactly how you would do that. But yeah, that seems like a great haul for today. So I think this will be the end of today's video. If you made it here, thanks for watching, for hanging out. I hope that you saw something interesting here today. I am certainly enjoying being back to work on Jakt and just trying to finish, or not finish, but like bring the language forward and get it to a point where I'm really excited about the language, but I feel like I need to get it to the point where anybody would get excited about the language if they try it out. Or anybody in our community, at least. But we're not quite there yet, but trying to get there. I'm working on it. Anyways, thank you for checking out the video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.